My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
With supply chains becoming more complex, you need to stay on top of the latest logistics developments. So if you work with logistics, you need the Beyond the Box podcast from Maersk. It's the easy way to keep up to date with everything from digital disruption in logistics to the need for supply chain resilience in today's market. Find out more and keep ahead of the game with the Beyond the Box podcast on logistics insights at maersk.com/insights.
This is Optimal Finance Daily. How to rebuild your credit using credit cards wisely. Part 1 by Ramit Sethi of IWillTeachYouToBeRich.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. This is the show where I read to you from some of the best personal finance blogs on the planet. And today is a bit of a longer post, so I'm splitting it up into two, reading the first part today and the second half tomorrow. So with that, let's dive right into part 1 and start optimizing your life. How to rebuild your credit using credit cards wisely. Part 1 by Ramit Sethi of IWillTeachYouToBeRich.com. If you need to know how to rebuild your credit, you're probably already in a bad place. Credit cards are convenient enemies. Almost everyone has a bad story about late fees, unauthorized charges, or overspending. Not surprisingly, many pundits and parents have a knee-jerk reaction to credit cards. Using credit cards is the worst financial decision you could make, they shout. Cut them all up. What an easy battle cry for people who want simple solutions and don't realize the benefits of multiple sources of credit. But from one perspective, credit cards are like a delightful gift from heaven. If you pay your bill on time, they're actually a free short-term loan. They help you keep track of your spending much more easily than cash. They let you download your transaction history for free. And most offer free warranty extensions on your purchases and free rental car insurance. But unfortunately, there's more to them than that. The truth about credit cards lies somewhere between these two extremes. As long as you manage them well, they're worth having. If you can avoid the unreasonable fees and tricks, credit cards offer exceptional benefits. To get the most out of using credit, you need to optimize your credit cards and use them as a spearhead to improve your overall credit. This is all the more important in the wake of the credit crisis. If you don't have good credit, it may be difficult to get an affordable home or car loan, even if you have a high income. How to rebuild your credit with the right card. Whether you've never had a credit card before or you're thinking about getting an additional card, there are a few things to think about. Number 1, avoid those credit card offers you receive in the mail. Let's cut to the chase. If you hate those credit card offers in the mail as much as I do, visit optoutprescreen.com to get off their lists. The average American receives 20 credit card offers every year, and 4 out of every 1,000 people accept them. The numbers are markedly different for students. Out of every 1,000 students who are mailed offers, 150 accept them, an astonishingly high number. Students and young people in general are especially susceptible to these offers because they don't know any better. Let's be real. Taking a credit card offer you get in the mail is like marrying the first person who touches your arm. 99% of the time, it's the easy decision, not the right one. Most people know better and go out and find what's best for them. They don't just settle for the horrible offers that fall in their lap. For something as important as your credit, make the effort and pick a good card. Number 2, there are options if you're young and/or have no income. Getting your first credit card can be tricky, especially if you're young, but there's an easy solution. Get a secured credit card. These are cards that require you to put down a few $100 in a savings account, and then the bank uses that as collateral to issue you credit. After a few months, assuming you've behaved responsibly, you can graduate to a regular unsecured credit card. To get one, call your bank and ask about it. Number 3, avoid cashback cards, which don't actually pay you much cash. People get really mad at me when I say this, but cashback cards are worthless. Get 1% back on all your spending. Wow, if I spend $2,000 per month on my credit card, I'll get back $20. But Ramit, you might say, $20 is better than nothing. Sure, but what if you could save more by getting a free $500 flight? It wouldn't be as obvious as receiving money each month, but in the long run, you'd save more with a travel rewards card. Number 4, compare cards online. The best way to find a card that's right for you is by researching different offers online. Try bankrate.com. In most cases, the simplest credit cards are offered by your bank, so this is often a good place to look. They'll connect with your bank account and you can choose from a variety of options, including credit limit, rewards, and more. On the plus side, they're easy to get without much research. The downside is that the rewards are usually fairly mediocre. Number 5, rewards are important. You're going to be using this card a fair amount, so make sure the rewards it offers are something you'll actually want. I travel a lot, so I got an airline card that gives me free companion tickets, free flights, and points for every dollar I spend and every mile I fly. I get multiple free flights per year, and each one saves me about $350. But if you hardly ever travel, this card wouldn't make sense for you. Bottom line, if you're getting a rewards card, find one that gives you something you value. And number 6, don't go card crazy. Now that you're in the market, you might be tempted by any number of card offers, but don't overdo it. There's no magic number of cards you should have, but each additional card you get means added complexity for your personal finance system. 2 or 3 is a good rule of thumb. The average American has 4 credit cards. Your credit score is based on overall sources of credit. Remember, there are other sources of credit besides credit cards. These include installment loans, such as auto loans, personal lines of credit, home equity lines of credit, and service credit, such as utilities. Take it slow, Craig Watts of Fair Isaac Corporation says, cautioning against prescribing a specific number of credit sources. He goes on to say, quote, "It depends on how long you've been managing credit. The less information in your credit report, the higher the prominence of each new report. For example, if you're in college and you only have 1 credit card in your name, when you open another account, the weight of that action is more than it would be 10 years down the line. If you limit yourself to opening 1 card a year, you'll be doing yourself a favor." End quote. How to rebuild your credit with credit cards. 6 commandments. Now it's time to take full advantage of your cards as a means to improving your credit. Optimizing your credit is a multi-step process. Number 1, pay off your credit card regularly. Yeah, we've all heard it, but what you may not know is that your debt payment history represents 35% of your credit score, the largest chunk. In fact, the single most important thing you can do to improve your credit is to pay your bills on time. Whether you're paying the full amount of your credit card bill or risking my wrath by paying just part of it, pay it on time. If you miss even 1 payment on your credit card, here are 4 terrible, horrible, no good, very bad results you may face. First, your credit score can drop more than 100 points, which would add $240 a month to an average 30-year fixed mortgage loan. Second, your APR can go up to 30%. Third, you'll be charged a late fee, usually around $35. And fourth, your late payment can trigger rate increases on your other credit cards as well, even if you've never been late on them. I find this fact amazing. Don't get too freaked out. You can recover from the hit to your credit score, usually within a few months. In fact, if you're just a few days late with your payment, you may incur a fee, but it generally won't be reported to the credit bureaus. Most people pay their credit card bills online now, but if you haven't set up automatic payments yet, log onto your credit card's website and set it up now. Number 2, get all fees waived on your card. This is a great, easy way to optimize your credit cards because your credit card company will do all the work for you. Call them using the phone number on the back of the card and ask if you're paying any fees, including annual fees or service charges. It should go a little something like this. You. Hi, I'd like to confirm that I'm not paying any fees on my credit card. Credit card rep. Well, it looks like you have an annual fee of $50. That's actually one of our better rates. You. I'd rather pay no fees. Which card can you switch me to that doesn't charge fees? I'd like to make sure my credit score isn't affected by closing this account too. Can you confirm? Yeah, I really talk like that. The vast majority of people don't need to pay any annual fees on their credit cards. And because free credit cards are so competitive now, you rarely need to pay for the privilege of using your card. The only exception is if you spend enough to justify the extra rewards of fee-charging account offers. Number 3, hear that on tomorrow's episode. You just listened to part 1 of the post titled How to Rebuild Your Credit Using Credit Cards Wisely by Ramit Sethi of IWillTeachYouToBeRich.com. And I'll be right back with my commentary. Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. It's a simple concept, but not necessarily an easy concept. Right now, high interest rates have crushed the real estate market. Prices are falling and properties are available at a discount, which means Fundrise believes now is the time to expand the Fundrise Flagship Fund's billion-dollar real estate portfolio. You can add the Fundrise Flagship Fund to your portfolio in minutes by visiting fundrise.com/OFD. That's FUNDRISE.com/OFD. Carefully consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Fundrise Flagship Fund before investing. This and other information can be found in the fund's prospectus at fundrise.com/OFD. This is a paid advertisement.
Right now, get scary good deals on select Ring cameras and doorbells. See who's there. Keep your scaredy cats company.
Oh, it's okay, sweetie. I'll be home soon.
And protect your crypt from the real monsters.
Oh, come on. The sign says take one.
Save big on select Ring devices right now at ring.com.
I'm a big fan of using credit cards for the perks. After I got out of credit card debt in 2016 and learned to control my spending, I started churning credit cards. This means that I would open a card, spend enough to get the sign-up bonus points. Usually there's a spending minimum in the first 3 months. Then I would downgrade the card to avoid any annual fees and move on to the next card. For personal spending, I had to find cards with low minimum spending thresholds, and it was a relatively slow process. But once I started my business, the churning really accelerated. For the Economy Conference, which is an annual party about money designed for the FIRE movement, most of my expenses would hit in 1 month out of the year. So I would open 4 to 5 cards at once and earn a ridiculous amount of points. I used a website called Doctor of Credit to help me find the best sign-up bonuses. And according to my spreadsheet, I've done this over 20 times. I even got my Midwestern gentleman involved to open really good cards that I already had. Here's the issue. It got way overcomplicated. Tracking sign-in details and minimum spends across 2 different people with personal cards and business cards, plus monitoring for fraud, proved very difficult even for someone as detail-oriented as myself. I had a number of instances where some details slipped through the cracks, and it made me throw in the towel. But I enjoyed at least $10,000 of free travel when I was in the thick of it, so the experience was well worth it to me. But this is just the first half of the article, so be sure to come on back tomorrow where we'll finish up this post and where your optimal life awaits.